I am not that good at Pokemon, as it turns out. A little over a year ago, oh little naive and also dumb me decided to try my hand at a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Blaze Black, commonly referred to as one of the most difficult Gen 5 ROM hacks around. And when my journey began, I did it without any calcs. I thought that it'd be challenging but fun, and now here we are almost 15 months later, though I did take a break. By the end of the journey, I changed dramatically as a person. Not only did I begin using damage calculators, but I even went from keeping my shirts buttoned up to unbuttoning them. Yeah, I know. In this video, I'll be showcasing my journey through the lens of the final run, Attempt 20, along with the losses of each of the 19 runs before that. I just really hope Attempt 20 is the one. Normal Nuzlocke rules apply, and trust me, they're applied a lot. I choose Snivy as my starter for the final run. Late game Jinjo will be great, but more than anything, he'll be a decent check to Lenora's gym. As you'll see later, she consistently gave me a plethora of problems. Right outside the starting town is my earliest loss, technically. Attempts 4 through 8 were all in one stream, and by the time Attempt 7 came around, the game crashed. Not a very climactic loss, but one that I counted nevertheless. Back to Attempt 20, my first encounter is Dog 5 the Lillipup. Don't ask about Dogs 1 through 4. Lillipup feels like a pretty underwhelming encounter at first, but his eventual Intimidate makes him an invaluable member to the team. Accumula Town is home to the very first boss fight of the game, and it's against N. And as long as you're at least a little leveled and prepared, like Jinja and Dog 5 are, this fight is typically a non-issue. However, on my second attempt, I was not prepared. My starter Snivy gets killed by a crit bug bite, and helps inspire the crit counter that you'll see with some of these runs. For Route 2, I'm fortunate enough to get another decent encounter in Wurmple. Almost any of the common bugs are usable for the early game, and Hotmail evolves into Beautifly. I would have preferred Dustox, but she works as a decent enough sweeper. Blocking the first city is Bianca, who's another early game boss. And there are plenty of them, don't worry. But again, as long as you're ready, it's not a problem. Especially if you have Hotmail. But Attempt 9 was not blessed with Hotmail. Bianca's Meowth ends up sweeping my team, in part to a bite flinch, and in part to her potion. This loss wasn't brutal or anything, but the fact that it felt so pointless at the time made it weigh on me a little more. So, in order to get the next 2 Pokemon and access the gym, there are 2 mandatory trainers that I need to pass. This game was made before the time of games like Run and Bun, where there are min-max trainers everywhere, but this area still throws a lot at you. The first example is Lass Airy, who has 4 Pokemon, including Starly, who hits like a truck. Obviously, Jinja and Hotmail aren't going to take those hits that well, and the XP management means that I need to tread carefully. Dog 5 leads the fight, and ends up taking the hits like a champ, so Hotmail then safely takes out the remaining Pokemon. But in Attempt 5, even though I had a Hotmail, I did not have a Dog 5, so the low roll to high roll starter kill had me reset. After the last, the infamous youngster Joey awaits with his actually top percentage Rattata. 30 IVs all around with the hustle ability and an insane move pool including Flame Wheel, makes this guy harder to beat than some of the bosses. That's truer than ever on attempts 17, 18, and 13. This guy is truly a menace. And the only reason I'm able to get past him on attempt 20 is because Joey misses Flame Wheel turn 1, and Dog 5 gets a critical tackle, claiming the one-shot. Looking back, Dog 5 was a huge carry. And even though there was no wipe on the first attempt, with the loss of a starter, I just reset. That ends up being a theme for a lot of these early runs. The starters are just so good, but so fragile. Now I get to pick up Drizzlin the Pampor, and thanks to him and Dog 5, the first real Charon fight ends in no time. Attempt 6, however? I think we always just Ember here. Ouch. A crit kills me, huh? We need to attack. We can't... Also, thanks to early access to Cut, which I didn't realize I had until later attempts, I could get my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon from the Dream Yard. And name him Perry. So yeah, I did pick up Drizzlin here as well, but since the monkeys act as a pseudo-starter and are required to progress through the story, I allowed the Grass-type encounter. Just like I'd allowed the fishing encounter in Pallet Town. Also, this is a good place to consider for delaying for the Shaking Grass encounter, as if I get Audino, then I can guarantee some nice encounters later on. But by this point, I just wanted the Pokemon, and the Shaking Grass and Audino have largely let me down. The Striaton City Gym is the only gym that I always beat deathless. It's a 6v5 rotation battle, and the AI for these types of battles rotate completely randomly. But the monkeys' move pools were pretty significantly buffed, and Drizzlin sweeps. There are a couple more boss fights before Lenora, including another fight against Charon, but these boss fights are a little less significant, so I'll be skipping over them and some other future mini-bosses. Wellspring Cave is home to my 6th Pokemon, Blue Dagger the Roggenrola. But even more importantly, it's home to Dust Clouds and the TM for Thief. I didn't realize this until I was a couple runs in, but this cave alone opens up at least half of the items in the game, with gems, berries, evolution stones, and so much more. The game almost expects you to use these. I kinda wish it would just hand them to you and save you the time, but oh well. For the next 2 encounters, I go into the Dark Grass. Again, the Shaken Grass could be really good, but I've been unlucky. The Dark Grass could also have a chance of being a double battle, where I could choose the preferred encounter of the 2. On Route 3, I'm not so lucky and get Jade the Budu. But outside Pinwheel Forest, both Sock and Throw appear on that thing. Both of these are very good for the Lenora fight, but I end up going for Throw since it could have Guts. I catch him, name him CJ Abrams, and he does not have Guts. We also get early access to a fishing rod and fish up Slowpoke named Dean. The weather setting Drizzle would have been amazing, but Regenerator's not bad. On attempt 8, this place was home to a reset, since I encountered Basculin, and really wanted it, but failed to catch and lost too many Pokemon. Now, the run-up to Lenora is brutal. It starts with a double battle against N that I've lost even starters to before, but this time we skate by with the new encounters. The gym trainers are no joke either, especially since I need to be careful about getting over-leveled from them. Because it's just a normal type gym, it runs a lot of gimmicks. Attract, Imposter Ditto, buffed cast form, everything is on the table and makes this early game feel so much scarier than the rest. But on attempt 20, we make it through deathless. Lenora, as I was hinting at before, is a gargantuan roadblock and was very consistently a challenge on every attempt. Her fight has been turned into a double battle, and dealing with her double intimidating lead, along with the simple B-Barrel and a Bouffalant, almost always felt impossible. And on attempts 4, 10, and 19, that feeling was validated. I never really got the hang of it. Even in the runs where I got past her, the damage she did to my teams snowballed into tragedy. This happened on attempt 3, where I get past her without calcs, but end up with a Servine, Kricketune, and Munna. It didn't last much longer than that. Back to the latest run, I employ a strategy that, admittedly, isn't my own. I'll be utilizing Jinja's contrary ability with the 2 incoming Intimidates, and Drizzlin's Tickles. Alright. We're doing Tickle strats. Hopefully Drizzlin lives to see another day. I'd really love for him to live to see another day. I think I might as well just start going for cuts on the Stantler and get that ball rolling. And then we tickle Jinja. Thanks to Contrary, using Tickle on Jinja raises both the attack and defense by 1. Oh, bang. Oh, a crit would have been huge. Extra Sensory. Didn't really do anything. Retaliate. Dude! Come on! Are you serious? Turn 1 critical hit. You're kidding me. That happens every single time. Every single time. It happens every single time, folks. More times than not, the Herdier always led with Helping Hand, but I have this ongoing theory that the AI knows when it's going to crit. Dog5 lands an Intimidate of his own, before he switches to Parry and Lenora heals. This heal negates our kill chance, but Jinja simply gets it the next turn. Then Parry misses the lovely kiss on the Herdier, which is unfortunate. There's Bite. Dang, that still does a lot. Woo! Okay. I did not think that this thing would be coming out this early. And because my monkey died turn 1, I'm not nearly as prepared for it as I was hoping. Man, okay, I could double up on it. I could try putting them asleep. That would be really huge. That would be really, really big, though. I think I have to go for that. Herdier does do Helping Hand, so their damage is going to be through the roof. Parry used Lovely Kiss. It lands. Huge. Huge. Okay, so they get no attacks off. They're snoozing away. Hopefully they're having nightmares. With Bouffalant falling deep asleep, we're able to gain momentum and take out Lenora's 3 scariest Pokemon, leaving only 2 remaining. Herdier is slowly but surely perishing, and then there's Furret. And I don't think this Furret really has anything. Retaliate, Follow Me, a Thunderbolt Reversal. If it's Helping Hand boosted, is this yeah, it doesn't really do anything. I mean, like, obviously, if it crits, that would be the worst thing in the world for me. But hey, What are the odds?
Helping hand.
How's that dog not dead yet? I haven't been trying to attack it. Oh, I should have done my own helping hand. Retaliate. No! Come on! Oh no. That sucks. It happens every single time, folks. Parry easily cleans up the last remaining Pokemon, but losing my 2 starters hurts a lot. This is what I was talking about with Lenora. Chunks off my team. Well, I've got plenty of free time now, and plenty of space on my team for rebuilding. I, as many others, count the inside of Pinwheel Forest as a separate encounter from the outside, and get Scala Speed the Venipede. Then, after taking down a few more Team Plasma members that should have been informed about the level cap, I head through Castelia City to Route 4 to not only pick up Goggles the Trapinch, but a Plume Fossil that I later revive into Fleffly the Archon. I considered delaying my fossil encounter so I could get Aerodactyl, but even with the Defeatist ability, I heavily valued Archeops's speed. I also do something a little controversial in Castelia City. I redeem an event and sail to Liberty Garden to encounter and catch Victini. I'll make it quick since we've got a lot of challenge to cover, but legendaries and mythicals are available throughout the game. I'd argue it's balanced around them to a degree too. Also, mythicals and legendaries have really bad level up movesets, which balances them, I'd say. And, fun fact, in attempt 11, I caught one in a dive ball. Yeah, I know, I'm pretty skilled. I definitely wasn't out of other better Pokeballs and lost hope or anything. Berg's gym trainers are somewhat scary, but don't hit nearly as hard as Lenora's. At least not the mandatory ones. So getting to the main man isn't a problem. Fighting him on the other hand? Well, it was a pretty big problem for attempt 12. I had more dead Pokemon than alive going into it, and 2 of the alive Pokemon were weak to Bug. It was an uphill battle, not meant to be. But even in the modern day, with modern technology, my current team had very few outs. My only reliable chance was EV training Hotmail. I didn't feel like EV training myself, as I have a job, so I simulated the EV training that I could do with the limited XP remaining. If you're interested, you can check out the VOD for the full explanation. Masquerain and Vespiquen. These 2 are the most specially bulky Pokemon, I think. But that's why the Flying Gem should let us be just barely strong enough to take them out. So we Air Cutter, and we boost the Air Cutter with Helping Hands. Dog 5 is just going to Helping Hand the entire fight. And the great thing about that is even though Dog 5 is really slow, Helping Hand has priority. Air Cutter is getting boosted by the Flying Gem. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, these things have been always so annoying to deal with. Okay, so Scolipede was the thing I was worried about. So the thing here is that it's a damage roll now. It's very possible that Air Cutter doesn't take either out. I did say in the title there would be no crits today, but if they're mine, I'm willing to let it slide. Hotmail outspeeds, lands both Air Cutters. Scolipede lives. That's... Oh. Oh, that's bad. That's bad, because they're gonna heal, and they're gonna Rock Slide. Does it land, though? That's what I want to know. Does it land? Yep, it doesn't miss. Good job, Hotmail. So now I have to start actually thinking about this. Who do they send in here? Oh, if they send out Heracross, they're gonna Brick Break into my dog. Okay, I could prepare for that. I could send a Nidoking now. And there is Heracross. Okay. While I pivot Dog 5 out into CJ Abrams to protect him, Perry uses Incinerate to try to take out Scolipede and do some damage to Heracross. After getting hit by Megahorn, it turns out it was a roll to kill Scolipede with Incinerate. With that, a Brick Break from Heracross takes a chunk of damage off of CJ Abrams, and afraid of them doubling up into him next turn, I pivot into James Wood. Unfortunately, Scolipede heals with the Hyper Potion, and I didn't consider that. Right. As long as they don't Rock Slide Flinch, I think we're gonna manage. They win the speed tie. Okay, no flinch, no flinch, no flinch. That's actually huge. That's actually huge. But it's no problem, because James Wood and Perry can both launch off their Incinerates and take out these 2 Pokemon without any worry. And last is Leavanny, but I think we could all guess how that goes. Yeah. All right. That fight Even with the death, went a lot better than it did last time we were here. Immediately after, I'm blessed with 2 whole rival fights. Bianca's is a double battle, while Charon's is a rotation battle. But thanks to the new level cap and a couple evolutions, I'm able to get by fairly safely. Again, the randomness of rotation battles still makes Charon's fight a little touchy, but Dean's bulk and recovery and Flethly's insane power keeps my blood pressure just low enough. From here we get access to a nice handful of encounters, including Guzmo the Darumaka from the Desert Resort, Plasly the Ghastly from the Relic Castle, Bloodborne the Rufflet from Route 5, Bubblegum the Castform from Route 16, and Squilliam the Shelmet from Lost Lorn Forest. Plasly, Guzmo, and Squilliam, who can all evolve right away, will be the Pokemon to join the team for a fight against N and Elsla respectively. Jade and Guzmo pair pretty well for the fight against N, while Elisa's... How do you say her name? While Elisa's Volt switching Emolga is usually my biggest hurdle. However, Attempt 16 showed me the might of Ampharos, who maxed out their defense with Cotton Guard and proceeded to neuter my whole team with Paralysis. But needless to say, I was here for revenge. Crusader! Oh my gosh. Emolga. So this is a physical attacking Emolga. Not really scary for my Gigalith, but they're probably going to U-turn. Either way, Stealth Rocks is good. Okay, they do U-turn. If they U-turn into Galvantula, I think that would be perfect, because I have the Rindo Berry to deal with the... Oh. The Energy Ball. They go into Ampharos. Do they know then? Why wouldn't they? I mean, they have Focus Blast, that's why. As I said, Ampharos has Focus Blast, so I pivot into Plasly, who will eat it for free, and then I pivot into Perry, who could get some super effective digs off. The Ampharos has max defense thanks to the Cotton Guard, but we should be able to win that war. Unless they get the Static Para on the first turn of dig. The first one? The back and forth between Perry and Ampharos goes on for a while. And even though Perry got paralyzed, he's able to stall out the Ampharos and bring them to 1. This sadly makes them heal, so I send in Goggles, who can only be hit by their 1 remaining Focus Blast. Second Dragon Dance? I'm cheesing it, I don't care, the game, I've earned it. I've earned this. Alright, 6th Dragon Dance, we are maxed out. We are maxed out. Now let's see. I don't want to use Dig and get paralyzed. That would absolutely ruin my day. But Crunch and Bug Bite are going to do the same thing because they're all contact moves. Let's just Dig and not get paralyzed. How about that? Let's do that. Because getting parried could ruin me. Fortunately, even though Goggles got paralyzed, she's able to fight through it and take down both the Ampharos and the Raichu. It wasn't quite the same case with Galvantula. So much for the sweep. Okay, I did not have a situation like this in mind at all. So I guess my best chance here is to go into Squilliam the Excelgor. Because, well, no, we outspeed them. But then what? I mean, I guess I could send an Excelgor to at least Strugglebug? Or Yawn, but then they would switch? And then what? Signal Beam. If it does over half, actually, that'd be perfect, because then our berry activate. Squilliam is lucky enough to get a Struggle Bug off, lowering Galvantula's special attack, but of course, they just Volt Switch right away, knocking out Squilliam. Manectric comes out, so I send in James Wood. They do Volt Switch. Hold on, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Galvantula? Oh! For fun? For free switching? Does the AI do that on purpose? And then Manectric just comes right back out. Okay, we are faster. It's a 2-hit. Thunderbolt. I'm not saying the word out loud. I'm not saying the C word. Although things went just about as bad as they could have, Blue Dagger, Goggles, and Plasly tag in and out accordingly to finish the fight. But yeah, we just did Sucker Punch, because we're a slow Gengar. I think I min-rolled. Yo! Plasly, hold on! Oh, man, I mean, like, I don't know. It's so frustrating sometimes. The run lives on, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. James Wood and Squilliam would have been really fun to use for sure, but rest in peace. Did somebody say another rival battle? Oh, it's not a rotation battle. So I thought this would be yet another rotation battle, but Sharon was feeling generous and gave me a break, I guess. The Whirlwind on Dean's switch-in forces in parry, so Plasly tags in expecting a normal type attack. Sadly, she gets hit with an aerial ace, so I go back to Dean, who just gets whirlwinded again. Since CJ Abrams is rather bulky, we decide to stay in, and the damage trade ends up being worth it. But we are dead to a crit, so I switch back to Dean.
What even? The AI has to be reading my inputs.
We do in fact outspeed, so Plasly's Clear Smog finally takes out the Staraptor. Emboar is actually a little scarier in this game, being Fire Ground type with the adaptability ability. Fortunately, Dean should finally be safe to come in. He's for sure safe on the Sucker Punch.
Ryan has a chance to Oko? Drets. Oh, come on. That's diabolical. The crits in this game are crazy. I think if I was keeping track of them this time around, I think my spirit would just be broken, all things considered. Okay, so I think they're gonna just go for Bulldoze again.
We stay in to take one more Bulldoze, and even a crit couldn't have killed. So Slack Off keeps Dean happy and healthy enough to take them out. Plasly then Clear Smog Simisage, and Parry is surprisingly safe to defeat the Gigalith. Then Parry would normally be forced to switch out from the Alakazam, without a doubt. But this one actually doesn't have any attacking moves, which is partly why I thought this was a rotation battle. With another new round of encounters getting started, I get Ungo the Swablu, welcome back, Ravioli the Mantike, I was really hoping for a Drizzle Pokemon, Onk the Piloswine who can't evolve yet, and Among the Fungus. I encounter 2 of them from the Double Grass, so lucky me. Even in the base games, Clay is known to be a huge challenge for players, especially with that Excadrill. In Blaze Black, it's pretty much the same, but worse, primarily due to the permanent Sandstorm comboing with Excadrill's Sand Rush. This combo ended up being too brutal for me on attempt 11, where I probably could have scraped by, but one wrong prediction let them set up Swords Dance and simply ruined everything. But regardless, we have beef. At the start of the fight, Hippowdon is probably the biggest problem child that we'll be dealing with. It sets up the sand that lets the rest of Clay's team just flourish. Luckily for me, even though Jade is still just a Roselia, one Energy Ball is more than enough to get the Oko, with the help of a Miracle Seed. Clay follows up by sending out Steelix, which kinda takes me by surprise at first. So I send in Bubblegum the Cast Form, who is our gateway to victory by getting rid of the sand. However, I underestimated Steelix just a little bit because they set up Coil and become a much larger threat.
Coil! Oh, that's scary. So that means Earthquake does kill. It's a 62% chance that Weather Ball kills. Oh, Steelix has Sturdy. Oh, no. Oh, wait, Steelix has Sturdy. I didn't even consider them ever using Coil, to be honest. Never, not once. But now I think Bubblegum just dies. Maybe they throw? Maybe he throws. Weather Ball? Oh, man. Oh, Pasho Berry. Yeah, okay, still brought down to the Sturdy. That's, oh, man. R.I.P. Bubblegum. Couldn't have done it without ya. Dang.
Since I know Clay is going to use a Hyper Potion, I send in Dog 5 to Intimidate and break their new Sturdy with Crunch. With their attack down to neutral, Among is relatively safe to come in and start spamming Giga Drains. And since Steelix plays rather passively, we get the win in no time. But of course, not before a cheeky burn.
Ooh, no, come on! All things considered, there's a little bit of chaos going on, but it's controlled chaos. I think I'll be able to manage. Crocodile. They're more than likely going for Earthquake. I'm gonna risk it, and I'm gonna stay in, and I could Synthesis. That would heal more than Giga Drain here. And they could use Torment, which would mean I can't use Giga Drain. Okay, Synthesis. We stay in Synthesis. Earthquake, no! Dang it. Okay, that's fine, though. That's fine. Because we never get crit. Why would we ever get crit? It's impossible.
It's true. I never get crit. And that's especially true for Among here, who's able to out-heal all the damage that Crocodile does, and take them out.
There's Marowak. We're at 103. We have to stay in, and Giga Drain still doesn't even kill. Oh, no! We're tormented. Right. Oh, boy. So we could out-heal the damage Marowak does if we Synthesis. So we do that. We just do that. Stone Edge could crit. I think we live a crit. We do not live a crit, and it has a high crit chance. So that was honestly really lucky. Giga Drain. Because we never get crit. Because we never get crit. Why would we ever get crit? We didn't even get any damage off. Well, Amongst Sacrifice will not be in vain, because Jade is able to come in here and get the one-shot with Energy Ball. Excadrill then enters the field next, but since he's neutered without the sand, I'm able to send in Fleffly, my Archeops, who's able to dig and be immune to Earthquake still, and just get the one-shot. Last is Seismitoad, but Jade comes back in to put a bookending on this fight. To be fair, you are supposed to play around the crits. With Clay defeated, we finally enter the part of the game that just flows. My Pokemon are not only fully evolved, but their movesets are appearing closer to their endgame counterparts, and the trainers aren't quite scaled like they are in the late game just yet. There aren't too many encounters before Skyla, but Chargestone Cave is home to one of the most important Pokemon in the whole game. Yeah, Excadrill, Magnezone, Ferrothorn, Rotom, and so on are all great, but none are quite as good as Zapdos. As long as I'm paying close enough attention, I'm able to repel manipulate on the bottom floor and fish for a guaranteed 1% Zapdos. Yeah, that sentence makes sense. Many Pokeballs later, Nimbus eventually joins the rotation, but stays safely on the bench for the fight against N and his full team of Rotoms. Whether it's base stats, movesets, or abilities, every Rotom got a buff in this game, especially the default one. Thankfully, Plasly can come in clutch here and outspeeds the Rotom to knock them out with a single Shadow Ball. I don't really have any solid answers for Rotom Heat, except for Goggles, who's able to wall off all of their attacks thanks to her typing, and just wins the matchup with a couple Dragon Claws. Though Rotom Frost is a little scarier than it should be in this game, as it has Glaciate, and it's able to lower Guzmo's speed on the switch-in, which was news to me. Guzmo has a minus speed nature, so that's all it took for the fridge to become faster than my monkey. Unfortunately, I don't have any more options here, but to hopefully avoid the crit and use Fire Punch. I've been hurt so many times before. I've been hurt so many times before. That was really lucky, I feel like. When Rotom Wash enters the field, it quickly becomes another victim of Jade. It's Rotom Fan who's the problem child here. I predicted that they would go for the kill and use Hurricane, but when Fleffly comes out, they just set up Substitute and then activate their speed boost. We can't even U-turn now, so I'm forced to hard switch into Goggles. She's immune to Thunder, but Hurricane of course gets the confusion. Then, instead of breaking the sub, we get the self-hit. It's really lucky that we had a Citrus Berry because that is the only reason Goggles lives. My only choice now is Parry, and I didn't quite prepare accordingly, because Incinerate is still our best move for Rotom Fan. We don't get any minerals, which means Parry is able to break the sub and do some damage after dodging a Hurricane. Okay, perfect turn. They use Hurricane, it misses, or it just doesn't get the confusion, or it doesn't get the crit. We are able to land our Incinerate, and it high rolls so that they have more than 25% health and they can't substitute anymore. That way we could cover for that. Alright, Parry. Because we never get crit. Because we never get crit. Why would we ever get crit? Man, that sucks. Plasly is the only one left who even remotely has a chance of taking them out now. Of course, when she rejoins the fight, Rotom's first choice is to use Shadow Ball. And it doesn't kill! Plasly retaliates with her own Shadow Ball, and finally gets rid of the fan. Last is Rotom Mow, but with the help of Eviolite, Jade is able to whittle them away. Eventually, Thunderbolt becomes a little too big of a threat for Jade, so the heavily weakened Goggles switches in on the Thunderbolt, and just outspeeds and wins us the fight from there. Parry may not have been the most consequential loss of the run, with Gen 5's power creep and all that, but it sure was another huge hit to morale. Cause Nidoking is so cool, guys. Right before Skyla, I could still acquire 2 more Pokemon. The first is Pony the Ponyta on Route 7, and in the Celestial Tower,
by applying the same strategy as with Nimbus the Zapdos, I can encounter Cresselia. But just like on attempts before, it takes so long, and I missed that the repel ran out. So instead, I encounter Spiritomb. Not quite Cresselia, but I'm definitely not mad about it. But when it uses Memento, I get a little mad. On the bright side, Onk's evolved thanks to access to the move relearner, and the move pools of the rest of my Pokemon have improved greatly. Gotta look on the bright side. So Skyla's teamfight has been turned into a triple battle, and on top of the absurdity that already comes with triple battles, most Pokemon can't attack the opposite corners of the field, but flying type attacks can. And guess who has flying type attacks? Luckily we do have Nimbus, who proves their worth, no questions asked. Goggles and Onk play great support in turn 1, pre-damaging all of 3 of Skyla's leads. Thanks to them, Nimbus can safely use Discharge and take out half of their team with one more blow. Nimbus was equipped with an Electric Gem to guarantee Braviary going down before they could use Rock Slide. But since Goggles landed her Heat Wave first, I had nothing to worry about. On turn 2, Goggles and Onk double up on the Gliscor, whose moveset makes it a huge threat overall. Then, once again, Nimbus is safe to discharge and ends the fight on turn 2. I'll defend my Zapdos encounter due to the work I had to put in to catch it, but honestly, having Flygon and Mamoswine is what made Nimbus work so well there. If I didn't have those gals, then things would have definitely been different. Pretty soon, we'll get access to Surf, and a whole plethora of Pokemon as well. But before that, I'll have to fight Sharon again. This fight isn't crazy like the Lenora fight from earlier, or as mechanically daunting as the Elite Four, but its significance lies in the fact that this rotation battle is where my 15th attempt ended, and made me put a pause on the challenge for almost a year. Attempt 15 was following the loss of my furthest run, and that devastation followed by this was a rough combo. The worst part? It was my fault. I had plenty of good Pokemon on attempt 15, and even got to Charon's final Pokemon, Houndoom. But this Houndoom ends up reverse sweeping my remaining 5 Pokemon. This ended up being a throw because I removed Togekiss's extreme speed, which would have won me the match. And to add insult to injury, Amoonguss, who could have clutched up since Curse Body disabled Flamethrower, got crit by Dark Pulse and eliminated all of my hope. I had sacrificed my Dusclops, hoping the Curse Body would disable Dark Pulse instead, which would have let Kingdra win the match, but it just wasn't meant to be. Now that I'm back all these months later, I'm here for blood. Nimbus rotates from the left to discharge the Gigalith, who just sets up Stealth Rocks before going down to his second discharge. Gyarados comes out and rotates the Staraptor in, and he just goes down to discharge as well. Emboar, as I mentioned earlier, is part ground in this game, so I'm forced to rotate to Dean and use Brine. But I'm not complaining, because Alakazam takes the full force of the attack. Dean stays in to Brine again, and Emboar mistakenly rotates in to simply get taken down. Last to enter the field is Simisage, but with the Emboar out of the picture, Nimbus easily cleans up the fight and finalizes my revenge on Charon. This isn't his last battle or anything, but it is his last rotation battle. Thank goodness. Now that we have Surf, it's time to catch some Pokemon. And this is unfortunately the last time the region opens up for encounters like this. First, I head left of Route 1 to Route 17 and get Wailmer. No Drizzle, so Drats. Then just a little further, I forget to apply a Repel and encounter a Carvana for Route 18. The grass had way better encounters, but it's fine. The P2 laboratory gets me the amazing Magneton. Lucky. To make up for Route 18, a Ranger gives me a guaranteed Larvesta egg, and Volcarona gets Drought in this game, so this encounter is actually invaluable. Millstriton Cave blesses me with Onyx. I could have gotten a pseudo-legend here, but Steelix's defenses end up being a very nice asset. Twist Mountain lets me get a Girder, who also comes in handy. Icarus City gets me a Politoed. The coughing on Route 8 didn't want anything to do with me. Quagsire blesses us with his presence in the Moor of Icarus. And finally I get an Abomasnow without snow warning outside of Dragon Spiral Tower. Now, you're not going to believe this, but Guzmo and Vester the Volcarona just sweep the entire gym. Vester switches in on turn 1 to get rid of the hail and set up the sun, and from there, my 2 lovely fire types end the fight in no time.
All according to Keikaku, bruv.
Vester's best move is Heat Wave, and it had a chance to miss, but the wide lens heavily reduced that risk. I lived! No has a focus session! Oh, they got burned. After the gym, there's a significant amount of battles against Team Plasma, but since none of it leads up to any boss fights, the biggest challenge is staying under the level cap. And since I'm so skilled at video games, and only have 8 deaths, my large rotation of Pokemon ensures that we can make it to Opelucid City in no time. However, it is in fact blocked by one final battle against Bianca, and it's a triple battle. But Poop Bop Beep, Archeops, Volcarona, and Zapdos are an incredibly deadly combo, and each of them get a kill in each of the turns, winning me the match. Just past Bianca, Flaffy joins the team for the tail end of the run. And as for Route 10, I hold off getting that encounter for later. It'll be very clear why. Now, in my opinion, this point of the game does house enemy trainers that could all be considered their own boss fight. The only reason I was able to get through the veteran trainers on Route 10 to make clearance, and the ace trainers and veterans in the gym, was because of the trainer documentation and damage calcs. These fights are nothing to scoff at, and it really showcases the severity of this endgame. Speaking of, I only have one gym badge left to earn, and it's the final rotation battle in the game. So I'm leading with Sharpedo here, because Sharpedo can theoretically bait Earth Power, it'll bait a fighting type attack, and it might even bait Belly Drum, but it should maybe not. So we rotate to Goggles, and we Quiver Dance right away. We rotated and Quiver Dance, they didn't rotate at all. Okay. We have the Haban Berry in case we get Dragon typed attacked, but I'm hoping to go for Revenge. Okay, they go for Outrage. Okay, that's fine. Theoretically, that's fine. I think Charizard's only... Okay, it didn't kill. Charizard's only attack that can hurt me is Fire Punch. Fire Punch has a 6.3% chance to kill, not counting a burn. We're gonna commit to the strategy that I set up because that's like literally all I've got going for myself right now. And hopefully Goggles could just sweep. Druddigon stayed in. This always takes him out. Let's go! Goggles is a really good Pokemon. I hope like Goggles could actually be a game-winning or like a run-winning Pokemon here. Goggles then, by all means, takes out the opposing Flygon with another Dragon Pulse. When the Salamence comes in, she rotates to the Charizard. They could just do Substitute or Belly Drum right away, and like both would fail. Want to hear something crazy? I'm so down. Their speed rose. They went for Fire Punch. Oh, it max rolled! Good heavens, great googly moogly and everything in between. Rest in peace, Goggles, dang. From here, Ravioli the Mantine is my best switch in. Not only does it have Ice Beam for the remaining Dragon types, but it also has Surf for the Charizard. But I do in fact predict a rotation into the Salamence and go for Ice Beam, while Drayden just heals. I keep forgetting they do that. But from there, Ravioli's Ice Beam does in fact knock out Salamence, while Haxorus takes about 60% after whiffing the Earthquake and before eating a Citrus Berry. From there, they barely live another Ice Beam as they sit comfortably with the Dragon Dance setup. Oh no. Okay, I have to do a priority attack here. I think I'd rather risk Angst with an Aqua Jet. It should kill Haxorus, I feel like. We Aqua Jet. Ugh. Okay, they go to Kingdra after all. If we live this turn, we do at least get a speed boost and we will outspeed anything. Did I not put Surf on this or Waterfall? What is wrong with me, Drake? No. They restored their status with the White Herb. No. Okay, I can send in Obama's note and set up the Hail. That way the Haxorus will eventually die no matter what, even if someone else dies. We do not lose here. We do not lose. Say it with me, guys. I think I want to Surf. In case the Charizard, it's a Haxorus. No. Conkel Girl. After sending out Conkel Girl, it quickly dawns on me that Obama's note, my Obama Snow, doesn't have Snow Warning, like I said earlier. So my Hail strats will not take out Haxorus. Luckily, Conkel Girl does have Iron Fist,
and is able to take out the Haxorus and the Charizard in no time, partially thanks to the Drain Punch healing. Then it all comes down to the Kingdra. Okay, Conkel Girl is fine here. The healing didn't do as much. I don't know, we're probably dead to a Draco Meteor crit, but like there's nothing else we could do right here. Wait, if this does crit, what do I do? Okay, their special attack actually fell. The special attack actually fell. You're cheating, you're above the level cap. So the level cap rule only is applied at the start of battle. But if they level up mid-battle, we're fine. And the crit, let's go! Oh, okay. Man. There are very few hurdles remaining before the Elite Four. But there is still Charon. But compared to all of the rotation battles, double battles, and triple battles that I've done in this run, his 1v1 match is no issue whatsoever. It isn't until the final veteran trainer on Route 10 that I run into some real trouble. For the most part, it's business as usual, but when the adaptability Porygon Z is released, my life flashes before my eyes. Sure, it has Ice Beam, it's super effective into Nimbus, whatever. The real problem here is its Hyper Beam. That would kill just about anything in one shot, except Elon the Magnezone. I did not choose to name it Elon for the record. It was a chat redeem, I had to listen to it. Oh wait, I think we're dead to a Hyper Beam now. Wait, are we? And they outspeed us. I can Thunder Wave them. Oh, it's still 100% accurate. I think I have to go for Thunder Wave. Porygon Z actually bodies me. Wah! They're crazy! Okay, now everything is dead to a Hyper Beam. There is no safe route out of this fight, other than the hope of a full para. But it sadly does not come. And the Porygon Z lands a +4 adaptability Hyper Beam, one-shotting Elon. On one hand, Magnezone was a really important Elite Four contender. But on the other hand, they were named Elon. On the bright side, the Route 10 encounter that I was hoping for can finally be acquired. By waiting until the Dark Grass right before Victory Road was available, I can use the Repel manipulation strategy one last time and encounter Latios. Signal Beam and Dragon Pulse. Signal Beam never kills. We're gonna Signal Beam. Dude, come on. Because we never get crit. Because we never get crit. Why would with the crit? Wait, what am I doing? I have a Master Ball. Wait, okay. Oh my god. I have a Master Ball. Latios joins the rotation, gets named Jeff, and we make our way through Victory Road. It has its own challenges, but with the careful assessment of the trainer documentation and my immaculate dodging skills, we make it to the Pokemon League unscathed. The Elite Four in Blaze Black, if you didn't know, is nothing but double battles. The stakes are higher than ever, and I'll be fighting this challenge with Plasly, Vester, Nimbus, Conkel Girl, Jeff, and they. Admittedly, I'm relying on Vester way more than any other, but every member here will have to carry a lot of weight, and even fill some niches that I'm not entirely comfortable with. The silver lining here is that there is a break between these 4 fights and the very end, so let's make the most of it. If I don't beat this game now, I don't think I can ever play it again. I think I'd have to retire from Blaze Black 100%. Pokemon Black and White are the very first games to let you choose the order of the Elite Four battles. In this case, Caitlyn would technically play the easiest, but the room for failure was about the same for each fight, and my order could probably be called more arbitrary than anything. Anyways, Caitlyn leads with Sigilyph and Musharna, while I lead with Vester and Nimbus. Vester uses Bug Buzz to make sure the Musharna goes down immediately due to the threat of Trick Room. And Sigilyph, without a doubt, falls to Nimbus's Thunderbolt. Bronzong and Reuniclus coming out next is a little troublesome because they both have Trick Room and are very bulky. Reuniclus, Bronzong. Okay, so if Heat Wave lands, we're fine with Bronzong. I mean, Bronzong doesn't do a whole lot anyway, but they could set up the Trick Room and reverse the speed. Heat Wave, Thunderbolt always kills. It's just a matter of landing and not getting the 10% chance to miss. Heat Wave doesn't land huge. Yo, you got a chest pin. Bronzong gone. Ooh, and I think we got a high roll for Reuniclus too. Huge. So this should always kill. This always kills. Reuniclus down. So last would be Beheeyem and Gothitelle.
You know, scratch what I said earlier. Literally every Pokemon on their team has Trick Room except for Sigilif. I get a little nervous at the end of the fight, specifically due to Gothitelle and her bulk. So after Vester takes out Beheeyem, Nimbus sets up a light screen, meaning we'll win the fight, just with some extra steps. Grimsley's Dark-type Pokemon are in fact weak to Bug, so Vester gets even more time to shine, this time with Conkeldurr at her side. Conkeldurr's ability is Iron Fist, so she'll get a nice damage boost to her best moves. Grimsley's Liepard is the scariest Pokemon on the field for me right now, with its priority status moves thanks to Prankster, and then Sucker Punch. Whether I prepare for the damage, or the Thunder Wave, or the Charm, it's all up in the air as far as I'm convinced. I end up prepping both Pokemon with a Lumberry for the Thunder Wave, and soon regret that, because Sucker Punch does way more to Vester than I anticipated. Mach Punch and Bug Buzz take down the opposing Pokemon, but the fight has only just begun. The next two Pokemon to come out end up being the worst combo I could ask for. Honchkrow has Brave Bird that can knock out both my Pokemon, and Bisharp has Stone Edge, which is even scarier for my Mammoth Moth. Not to mention, now that Vester was pre-damaged, if these two double up with Sucker Punch, it's over. After much consideration, Vester switches out for Nimbus, who won't have to worry about Stone Edge anymore thanks to Conkeldurr's Mach Punch. But Honchkrow doesn't just watch her buddy get taken down, and takes the initiative to eliminate Conkeldurr with a single Brave Bird. Not only am I suddenly down to one Pokemon, but now I have to deal with a Moxie boost that I didn't even consider. With the boosted attack, Sucker Punch will hit like a truck, and Vester still can't come in. So it's up to they to save the day. And I seem to have chosen correctly with Houndoom coming out as well. At this point of the match, I seem to lose focus though. The Moxie boosted Haunch is a threat, but since I set up the Sun with Vester earlier, the Houndoom's Fire Blasts are super scary too. I opt to get Nimbus safe with a Fly, and after they barely survives a double up, our Citrus Berry and Drain Punch almost makes up for it. Houndoom holds on with a Focus Slash, and we do not heal enough. Once again, I have no choice but to stay in, while Honchkrow suddenly gets a second Moxie boost. And then the Houndoom lives the Fly thanks to Grimsley's heal. The one and only silver lining now is that Plasly can come in for free and bait the AI with her Ghost typing and just protect. Thanks to her, Nimbus is free to take out the Haunch. After that, Plasly's Aura Sphere one-shots the Absol, and Nimbus's Thunderbolt finishes off the Houndoom. I heavily underestimated Grimsley here, and now with only 4 Pokemon, I'm in big trouble. Chantel's fight, luckily, can go pretty much as planned. Plasly leads to eliminate the Golurk with Shadow Ball, while Nimbus Thunderbolts the Driftblim, preventing them from setting up Tailwind. They're both equipped with a Life Orb to guarantee that all of these attacks kill. Next in line is Mismagius and Frostlass, who I thought would be faster. Then, after they're taken out, the Chandelure and Jellicent just barely share the same fate. See, I'm good at Pokemon. Marshall is potentially the toughest fight of the Elite Four. Fighting types in general are good, and these ones are no exception. They're fast, bulky, and they hit hard. It also doesn't help that Marshall leads with both Sock and Throw on that thing, and the Sock has Sturdy. I've done everything I could to prepare for this lead with my remaining Pokemon, but the chances of a miss and flinch are not insignificant. To clarify, Sock has the potential to one-shot both Vester and Jeff. Throw has Rock Slide and is really bulky. We at least need to hold the Charty Berry to live one Rock Slide. I'd have to pre-damage Throw by going for the Heat Wave and risking the 10% miss. In the end, that's the move I go for, because it's the best chance at keeping everyone alive. Psychic brings it down to his Sturdy. Okay, Vester, come on, Vester, come on, Vester, come on, Vester. What is that? Speed? No, I don't care about that. Heat Wave? No! No! You're kidding me! We live! Oh, they're gonna Rock Slide now, though. We bury? Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I thought that always killed. I legitimately thought that always killed. Rock Slide? Split damage? Dude.
Oh my gosh.
This is actually really bad still. This is still really bad because now the sock outspeeds my Pokemon. And I guess it's just a matter of like which one they hit. Either way, I double up. Only one Pokemon are dying here. Oh, this sucks. This sucks. I could also Morning Sun theoretically. Marshall uses full restore. Dude, no way! Which one? Wait, throw? On throw? Psychic? Well, now throw's attacking. Oh, I hate the full restores. I forgot they still did that in these older hacks. That's fine because we double up. Sock's gone. Throw's gonna attack. They probably do Rock Slide again. It could miss. If it lands, Vesser dies. If it... Jeff might live. Fling. That's on Jeff. Jeff dies. Dude. That's Pokemon, baby. Sadly, Jeff did not get his time to shine, but both Vester and Plasly will keep his legacy alive because they are both equipped with Psychic. And since we outspeed even their Mienshao, we could use both their Psychics to take down Mienshao and Throw. After that, Poliwrath and Conkeldurr take the field, and after assessing that Conkeldurr seems to be the bigger threat, we double up into him with 2 Psychics. Plasly's first Psychic almost actually gets the kill, which makes me so glad I doubled up. Poliwrath, of course, is still alive and well, but with the sun up thanks to Vester, we're able to barely live the hit. Of course, priority moves from Breloom are a problem, so Vester switches out into Nimbus. And oh my gosh, I feel like Mach Punch did a little more than it should have. Plasly's Psychic then brings the Breloom down to their Focus Sash, as another weak Waterfall goes into Nimbus. Now you'd think that in this turn I'd be able to get another double KO, and it's half true as Plasly uses Psychic to take out the Breloom. But unfortunately the Poliwrath has a Wakan Berry, so Thunderbolt doesn't do the trick. In retaliation, they fire off an Icy Wind that brings both my Pokemon to the yellow and lowers their speed. But fortunately for us, my Pokemon are still quicker, and we take out the Poliwrath, winning us the entirety of the Elite Four. I have no idea why the Poliwrath started going for Waterfalls. If they just spammed Icy Winds, I think the run would be as good as dead. But we made it, and that's all that matters. All that's left is the final battle against Team Plasma, and it is a doozy. It's essentially a 6v12 fight against N and then Ghetsis. My Pokemon do get healed in between the fights, but the real challenge is conjuring a team that can handle both the bosses. And before that, I've gotta manage to catch Reshiram. Most people use their Master Ball for it, but something happened to mine, I can't quite remember. And for those of you who have been keeping count, you may have noticed that I mentioned every run from 1 to 19, except for 1. That's right, even at my current spot in the playthrough, it's still not my personal best. All the way back on attempt 14, while fighting N, I had a drastic misunderstanding of my Volcarona's power. I had attempted to set up and sweep with Quiver Dance, but didn't take the opportunity to set up more than 2. Because of that, N's Zekrom proceeds to ruin everything. I'm able to somehow get out with a single Ampharos, but we inevitably lose to Ghetsis. At the climax of the game, where I literally could not go any further without winning, I lost. Now, some of you may have noticed that I never outright said that I won this run. This is just the final run. At this point, getting to the end, I'm accepting whatever outcome we get. I don't have the time or patience to play through this game on stream again, so whatever happens, happens. Please. 1, 2, 3. They do go for Fire Blast. Yeah, a crit would suck. Yeah, a burn would suck. Huge. 40% chance? Is that a crit? Nope. We take this better than Fire Blast, right? What the heck? That's kind of crazy. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Perfect. Perfect, I think. So even though I was able to cheese the Reshiram capture and leave every time the Quick Ball failed to just restart the fight and use another Quick Ball, the problem was that I was forced to have Dog 5 out because he was the best Pokemon I had to take any of the attacks from Reshiram and live. But because of that, now I have to lead the fight against N with Dog 5. It really pains me to say it, but the plan here is for Dog 5 to go down. In order to get the momentum I need for the rest of the fight, I'm gonna need someone like Vester on the field, and she'll need to get there safely. Dog 5 stays in to fire off a return, if nothing else, and when the Zoroark goes for Focus Blast, he tanks it like a champ. From there, return almost gets the kill, but this is actually perfect because now we're able to drain out all of N's healing. After that, Dog 5 actually dodges Zoroark's next Focus Blast and is safe to get the kill, knocking out the Fox. This baits in Magmortar, and this is even more perfect for me because now that Magmortar's out this early, it's going to be easier for me to deal with him. Especially if Dog 5's able to get a return off. But sadly, that's not the case, and Magmortar fires off Focus Blast, taking out the oldest member on the team. Rest in peace, Dog 5. The run wouldn't have been the same without you. But with this valiant sacrifice, Fleffly is able to enter the field completely safely and use his insane firepower to knock out the Magmortar with a single smackdown. And when Aerodactyl enters the field, I feel even more validated than ever before in choosing Archeops, because we outspeed and knock them out with a Smackdown as well. The reason I went for Smackdown here instead of a stronger Rock-type move was because it was the only Rock-type move with a guaranteed hit. Now the real Zekrom enters the field, and we U-turn out into Not My Fault the Steelix. I was pretty disappointed by his encounter at first, but it turns out he is the perfect Pokemon to outwall the Zekrom. It's only a matter of time before Not My Fault's Earthquakes take down the Behemoth. Next on the field is Slowbro, and it has a Water Gem boosted Surf at its disposal. This is the one caveat to having the flow of the fight differ from what my original plan was, because I was planning on having Vester in by now, and also the Permanent Sun. Since that Sun won't be weakening the Gem boosted Surf, I send in Ronnie the Quagsire. He's actually able to tank it pretty well, and the Citrus Berry mitigates a lot of the damage. From there, Vester is finally able to come in, and with a single Bug Buzz, takes out the Slowbro. Last is N's Porygon Z, and even though this thing gave me a lot of trouble before, our Life Orb Sun boosted Flamethrower is more than enough to take down N's final Pokemon. And last up is Ghetsis. I didn't really get an honest attempt at trying my hand at this fight before, but with the Pokemon that I have remaining, I'm confident we can pull this off. Things are a little complicated at first since Dog 5 gets revived, so I need to spend my time just spamming Protects to let him go down. Unfortunately, Drapion also has Toxic Spikes, and in the process of letting Dog 5 go down, they're able to set up both layers. I partially planned for this, as Not My Fault was supposed to come in and absorb the spikes. But it turns out Steel types don't absorb the spikes. Oops. Either way, Not My Fault has an insane defense stat, so even the sniper boosted crits from Drapion aren't gonna do anything to him. We get the kill with a couple Earthquakes, and then Hydreigon enters the field. And because it has such insane firepower, the tragic truth is that I'm gonna have to let Not My Fault go down here. No one can switch in, and I'm gonna need the sacrifice to end this fight. Alright, Not My Fault. Truly, 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 it wasn't my fault. Drats. It landed. It landed. There it is. Now Vester enters the field, and now that she's badly poisoned, and in the face of a Hydreigon, we have no chance at setting up at all. All we could do is fire off a Bug Buzz. And it's enough to take out Hydreigon. Following the Hydreigon, the Electros enters the field. And to be honest, I was hoping the Electros would be saved for last. It has a really good move pool, and no weaknesses, so I was least prepared for this. Oh! Wait! We just killed with Flamethrower! Wait a minute! Wait! Yeah, that's right, because I have Life Orb and Drought! Oh, huge. Oh, absolutely massive, bruv. Okay, so they probably go to Gyarados here, but with the sun up, Zapdos is completely free. The Aqua Tail, okay, that's fine, that's fine. That's fine, they didn't Dragon Dance. Even a crit would never kill here. Just Thunderbolt. 2 Pokemon left. 2 Pokemon left. Genesect. Okay, at this point of the game, I don't think I have the luxury of keeping Nimbus alive. However, if we outspeed, if we set up Light Screen, that'll at least get us something for whoever needs to switch in. We could attack, but I always set up Light Screen here.
And they do go for Ice Beam. Got that citrus berry still, baby. We live. We live. I think we just live this now. Wait. Oh, yo, because I could Roost. I was going to sacrifice Nimbus, but I don't even need to throw like that. I've had Roost on this Pokemon from the moment I got it all the way back before the 6th gym leader. I have not used it once. But there we go, baby. That's why we keep Roost. Uh-oh. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Our Light Screen still has a few more turns. They do outspeed us now, which is a little scary. But because of Light Screen, I think we're fine. I didn't even consider Rock Polish, to be honest, but because of that, it does kind of complicate things. If we get crit here, that'd be very bad. But it doesn't happen for the first time I say it out loud! That happened like at the very beginning of the run too. That's how the starter and Simipour died. But I've learned and grown as a person. And how do I know that? Because I didn't get punished here.
Ghetsis' final Pokemon is Dusknoir, and in the face of Nimbus the Zapdos, he cannot do anything. We heal up with Roost as they attack us with Payback, and it does just about nothing. Thanks to Roost, Nimbus is able to trade hit after hit with the Dusknoir, and since they never go for the Pain Split, Nimbus is completely free to use Thunderbolt and take out the Dusknoir, winning us not only the fight against Ghetsis, but also the entirety of Pokemon Blaze Black. And that is Blaze Black. Oh my goodness. Now what? You know, when I played this for the first time a year and a half ago, I only played it as a prerequisite to playing Blaze Black 2 Redux. I'm gonna need a breather before I go to Blaze Black 2 Redux, 100%. Wow, the final team, Volcarona, Zapdos, Archeops, Quagsire. No way, no way. That looked really cool on my Nintendo DSi in 2011, I tell you what. Alright, I could finally add a Drayano ROM hack into my resume, guys.